Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If I don't sound too thorough, I apologize. So why I've been gone for the past couple of days, was initially I had to go to Chicago for reasons I'll get to in a second. But I figured since I did that, I'd post 2 shorts, and I did. It's Call of Duty. So I posted that for you guys to watch, and my preview. So I know it wasn't a lot of content, but it was some content. So I tried to make that work for you guys. But anyways, why I went to Chicago, my other half, other half, I'm single now. But we'll get to that in a bit. So basically went up there. Her father had skin cancer, and it was really bad all over his body, from what they say. And so she told me she was upset one night, and so leading up to going to Chicago this past weekend, we were figuring out, planning, how, the dog and everything. But I told her immediately, I was like, hey, we gotta go. Like, that's your father. Cancer in general, no matter what kind of cancer it is nothing to play with, because it's cancer. So we had to go. And I told her, I was like, well, let your work know, and when they give you those days off, see if they'll let you get them days off, and if so, let's go. And so we went, had a good time going up there. It was no arguing, nothing like that. It was a good time. And then getting there was good. First night was good, but the second night we were there, it was kind of iffy. Not from her parents or anything, but from her. Like my ex-fiance, she has just gotten some friends, which is great. I told her, like, hey, go do it. That's awesome. I'm happy for you that you got a friend group. Amazing. Because she needs friends. She needs to get out the house. She just moped around and didn't do nothing, really, outside of going to work. So she needed that friend group to do so. But her second night, we went to a family member, I guess, of hers, Rose's, our distant family member. She said, I love you, and, she was intoxicated, but, and all that, but, said, I love you, all this stuff, but, if she wasn't playing pool with her dad, or her brother, or me, or, watching me and her brother play foosball and trying to hit her brother in the crotch, with the pole, the foosball thing, she was in her phone with her friends. Not really kicking it with me. Which is, I don't know. It just, it set off red flags in my mind, but I was like, you know what? If it ends up being a red flag, which I feel like it did, then, I'll know eventually. But I could read the room. I didn't feel good about it, because, like, I'm there. I'm supposed to be your fiance. We should be hanging out with your family and stuff instead of, I get it. You were intoxicated, but you knew more about your friend, this male friend of hers, Blevins, I think his name. You knew he was playing Call of Duty. Specifically, you knew he was gaming and everything, instead of having a conversation with your fiance. Before I went and sat down next to her on the couch, she didn't want me to sit next to her on the thing, which she didn't want to feel crowded. Cool. But she was distant, had her phone. Like, when you sit in a couch and you just do like that, with a corner turn, like that. That's what it was like. So, next day, we get up. She we were going to go hang out with her father. So, you know, we go to hang out with her dad and stuff because she needs to spend time with her dad. I told her the first night, because I thought they were going to church together, I was like, well, you need that day to spend with your father because he's sick. And we don't know how much longer he's gotten. He knew about cancer 2 years prior to this, whether he was in Arizona and didn't tell nobody. So, you know, you never know. And, I told her, I was like, you need to go spend this time with him. So I wasn't expecting to go, but her father wanted me to go. So, you know, we went, and she was like kind of distant, you know, like in her phone still, a lot, instead of having a conversation, taking the effort to talk to me, other than if it asked like, what's wrong, you know. And then obviously, like, I'm upset because number one, you're not spending time with your family. You're not really spending time conversating with your father. You have your earbuds in and you're on your phone. You know what I mean? Like, your dad's supposed to have cancer here, and you're not taking the time out to, you know, spend time with him, conversate with him. You know what I mean? Even if it is singing songs in the car, you know what I mean? Like, her dad even pointed out, you guys, I haven't heard nothing from you guys, you know, in the back. On the ride to the pier, we went to go, because that's where eventually we went and did. We get to this Navy pier with military. It used to be a military base thing. And we went there. It was long. It was beautiful. But we got to these paintings, like, you know, the old church paintings, like window painted things that look really cool. King Arthur, and they had other stuff too. But it was dope. And she just wanted to take a picture. She's like, told me to move the fuck out of the way, you know. And I'm like, okay, but I'm just gonna stroll away because I see you want to take a picture, but you don't have to talk to me like that, you know what I mean? Anyways, you know, she does it to another picture. And then she doesn't really talk to me, you know? Like, she's still shivering, cold, you know what I mean? Like, hands in her pocket, and just walking. And I think she has her earbuds in because it's funny because I remember walking back, because we ended up going to this restaurant, that they literally yell at you and stuff and basically tell you, like, shut up and all that good stuff. It's a really funny place. I forgot the name of it, but in downtown Chicago, walking back, I talked to her, and she didn't hear me, I guess. I don't know if she heard me or not, but she heard her brother that was a little bit ahead of us, you know what I mean? Which is like, kind of like a big fuck you to me, it seems like, you know what I mean? And everything. So, it was just a very, kind of like read the room and figure out what's going on. And I asked her, I was like, we got back that night, later that night, after I get off the phone with my buddy, my military buddy. Give me 1 second, guys. Anyways, I'm back. So after I get the phone with my military buddies, and Yo-Yo, my dog, is messing up her other things, I yell at my dog because I don't want him to mess up the other dog's furniture and me risk getting yelled at by her parents, you know, if it's destroyed, you know. For mom, I don't want her mom to lose her mess. I don't think she would have, but still, you know. I was just trying to have him know to be respectful instead of destroying furniture. But when we get in the room, after she went through her boxes, because she also went through boxes that she had in Chicago with her parents. You know, we're sitting down there, she's playing guitar, and I'm listening to her play guitar, and, you know, tell her not to give up, and not, you know, because she was trying to learn a song again, she couldn't play it. Tell her not to give up. I told her to keep playing, and then we eventually go to bed, and then I was like, and she gives me an attitude about something, you know, I can name a list, but she gives me an attitude, and I'm like, what's your deal? And she's like, eventually you'll find out. And I'm like, hold up, like, me, I'm a fixer, so I want to figure out what's going on, you know what I mean? But she doesn't want me touching her. And the night before, and, you know, we're at the movies and stuff, as well during the trip. And she said she was going to watch Minecraft for her friends, group of friends, everything. I told her that's fine. But she was all cuddle up to me and everything and want me to hold her and everything. So it just it's emotionally weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you go from acting that, being that one day to something next? You know what I mean? It didn't make sense to me. But, I think, anyways, when she didn't want me touching her, she didn't want me touching her the night before, she didn't want me cuddling her, anything like that. And I was just like reading the room, like, I guess, it's done, it's over with. And, this is it. Like, I mean, I can't do nothing, and I can't take that on my own. You know what I mean? So when we got back, I was going to say something, and if we can't work it out, I was just going to break it off. In my head that night, because I can't do that. I had to stand up for myself. So we're riding, leaving the next morning, we're riding, and everything seems okay, and then I told her, I was like, we have a long ride, let's talk about last night, you know what I'm saying? And she told me that, we're arguing a lot and everything, she's just over the arguing, and I'm like, and she's just done, and I'm like, bro, we haven't argued the past 3 days. Like, I haven't argued with you. You know what I mean? Like, well, I take that back. At first, she didn't want to talk about it. And I had to pry that out of her to get her to talk about it. And that's where I just said what I said. So, she, says she's done with the arguing, but I haven't argued. And we haven't argued a lot at all. Like, recently. You know what I'm saying? Like, there'll be spits and spats here, but every relationship has it, but it wasn't as bad as if we're comparing to when we first met. And, like, in Arizona, where she had me at some nights throwing my phone and putting holes in the wall of the hotel because I was under deployment, That's where I met her. So, because of, like, how she did me before. And so, she took that first original statement of, it's the arguing, and then rebutted it with, she misses her self-loving, not being able to do music, not being able to do art and everything, and not being able to paint, and not being able to do that. But the funny thing is, she's always been able to do that. Like, I took her to an art thing last Christmas season, and for like a little fun date, and I told her, I was like, I'd be willing to do it again because we both liked it. I told her, I was like, we'll do it again, you know what I'm saying, because this is fun. And she said yeah, at that night, but then or later didn't want to. And I've never told her she couldn't play her music, and she just got her guitar, and mind you, she just got her guitar this trip in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, oh, since she got her guitar, she can't play her guitar when she gets back. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I would have told her no. It's not like, oh, since, you got your guitar now, you can't be with me. No, I would never do that. If that's something you love to do, then go for it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to stop anybody from hobbies and stuff. You know what I mean? My hobby is my dog. So, and, taking them to dog parks and stuff and everything. So, but yeah, so that I wouldn't have stopped her. And, it just was really weird, the responses, I think. And so basically we just broke it off, and she's living with a coworker, a friend, Neville's. I don't know. I think from her being on her phone and her knowing a lot about that guy friend, me personally, knowing more about him that night while she was intoxicated, instead of having conversations with me, I think she might be with that guy. But, if she is, that's fine. I hope he makes her happy. This is what I told her. This is what I told her, guys. Is that find somebody that makes you happy, that treats you good, and as long as you do that, I'm happy for you. Like, I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm not mad at you for it. I mean, that's upsetting, yeah, because you think you're going to spend forever with somebody, but it doesn't end up happening sometimes. So It's just how it is. And I told her, I was like, because she's had a long line of abusive exes. And so I told her, I was like, you know, don't find another abusive ex, because that would suck. You know, going for some, like, wouldn't it suck just going from somebody that really cares about you, you know what I mean? That cares about you so much to another abusive ex, you know what I'm saying? It's not good. So, but I wish her the best, and she's a smart girl. She'll do good things in her life, and I hope she gets what's, you know, out, gets the best out of life, and I hope she also goes and gets some help, because she also has some demons, some issues with her past going on. She's told me she'll never do it, but I hope one day she wises up, she does it for her sake. And like I said, I wish her the best. And, you know, I told her, I was like, also, I loved you. I did love her. Me, every time I said I love her, I love you, it wasn't empty words coming out of my mouth. It was real, you know? So, yeah. So, hopefully she does good, man, in life. But it just, I don't know, it all seems weird. And also, on top of it, I think she may have checked out a while ago in her relationship, and she just didn't have the nerve to say it, too. So, I mean, there was time where she wrote me a message on a piece of paper, saying we need to at least take a break, from ourselves. So I think maybe that's where she mentally checked out of our relationship. She was just holding on for dear life. But, I mean, I enjoyed my time, and like I said, I wish her the best. But yeah, I am now single. Right now, I'm going to keep working on myself, guys. I got my dog to take care of. I'm going to be working on getting him, you know, everything he wants and everything like that. Just making a good life for us until, you know, someone else worth my time comes around. You know what I mean? I'm not going to rush into nothing. And just take it as a lesson that anything can happen, you know? Even when things you think are going great, it might not be going great for another person that's in a relationship with you. So, but yeah, love you guys. Thank you so much. God bless. I'm back.